Yay!
Hey,
Hey, we're back again. Yes.
welcome to
Woo!
another episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
No.
Just joking. Has seen anything good lately?
Yeah, seen anything good lately? Welcome back to Seen Anything Good Lately. We're the podcast where we talk about movies, TV shows, and everything pop culture that's going on right now or really late in the past. This is the place where we discuss those things. Hosting the show today is Hitesh Macon and me, Kendall Vano.
AKA Young Fern. Young Fern.
Young Ferg. Who's Young Ferg?
Young Fern, that's me, fam.
That's you, fams. Oh, dang. That's so sick, man. Yeah. Yeah. We're family, Woo.
Yo, Ruby family, man. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. Yo, Lexi, man. Yo, Lexi, I'm gonna be your. Yo, Lexi. You smart, Lexi.
People don't have no unless you if you guys they've seen Euphoria, we just wasted a good 10 seconds of your time just doing impressions.
That's a solid Fairs impersonation by both of us. Yo, Rue, man. Yo, man. Yo, you can't do that, man. Yo, man, you wasted, man. You wasted.
Yeah.
Yo,
Come on,
just sit in the back, man. You gotta be quiet, man. I'm driving, man. Yo, Jude, what's happening, man?
Yo, Ashtray. Oh, yo, Ash.
Yo, man.
Keep your eye on the monitor.
Yo, I'm gonna beat up Nate now, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck him up. Oh, are we not to swear in this podcast? I mean, we've done it in the past, but we felt really bad about it.
Wow, you dropped the F-bomb.
There's a lot of F-bomb dropping in that show. Euphoria, I highly recommend it.
There's a lot of stuff dropping on that show.
It's very heavy and intense.
Really good acting, though. Really good acting. Zendaya kills it.
Let's not go into that because we could gush. I could gush over that for hours.
I love it, man.
Every episode is a movie to me.
Every episode is a character study of someone in that show.
It's like it's the updated version of the high school's tropes for a modern time.
It's also it's almost like Skins.
Yeah. So yes, that's like one of the closest comparisons I could. But it's not like Skins, but it's the closest thing to it you could describe it.
Like it's like Skins, maybe for this generation or these lot of teenagers.
Or America, what's going on in the US.
Anywho. Hey Kendall, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Have you seen anything good lately?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm. I have seen Akira.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to talk about now?
Podcast over.
Yeah, podcast over.
Just joking. I have seen it.
So we recently watched Akira. Came out in 1988, I believe, directed by Katsuhiro Otomo, who I believe drafted the mangaka before being, before directing that film. Music is by Shoji Yamashiro.
Correct.
So, yeah. Akira. This is my first time seeing that film.
What did you think about it?
I thought it had a lot in common with Holy Mountain.
Yeah.
I actually thought that Akira was more scarier than what happened in Holy Mountain. So the character of Katsuhiro, who's the antagonist, also one of the main characters. Katsuhiro's character, he scared me. Because it's the voice. It's the voice. What was it? Tachiro.
Yeah, Tachitsu. I think I'm saying it correctly.
Kachiro, was it Kachiro? Tetsuo.
Tetsuo.
The way they did the voice dub, we were listening to the English voice dub, and he's like, he went from being like a little bratty little kid to like psychotic.
I watched the Japanese. I watched the Japanese because I couldn't find the American one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or the one that, or the copy that.
I'd like to hear your.
Or the copy that I got just had like the Japanese audio.
The dub, whoever did the dub, this creepy kind of eeriness to the way he performed it. It was like, what was the name of his friend? So there's Tatsuro and
Kaneda.
Yeah, Kaneda. Yeah, he's like Kaneda, like he's like he does this weird, creepy kind of eerie, like in the English dub. He's got this like Kaneda, and just like, oh, it's so eerie, so creepy. The visuals are just, it was scarier. The images were a little bit more terrifying in this than it was in Holy Mountain, because
I think it's closer to home than
yes, it's closer to home.
Mountain.
Holy Mountain is another world, a heightened reality, the fantastique. Whereas in Akira, there's like there's a lot of modern stuff, a lot of modern violence, gang wars and stuff like that. The news, politics, religion, and then the little things where like little things are moving, and in his bed, there's like certain things are more. It's so uncanny. Yeah. And the music, that's why I dropped the Shoji's name, the music, because the music and the visuals just like terrified me. It was always like it moved into horror. I like when there are certain genres they break into other things, and there's a certain horror element, and I was just getting like quick vibes out of it.
Yeah,
but overall, I definitely see why this is one of those. It's like Holy Mountain. It's one of those films that everyone talks about. It's referenced a lot, in the media.
It's another influential movie, and it's part of cinema history now. The way that it's presented itself, and also it's going through like a few things that it's influenced, and I think it's an array of different things as well. So, like the big one that I got was Kanye West's video for Stronger. So we talked about Kanye in our previous episode when we talked about Holy Mountain.
Yeah,
he's obviously a fan.
It's the Kanye show for you, isn't it? This is just the Kanye. How do we connect everything back to Kanye? Because Kanye is the truth, He is the Jesus.
We can actually
Yeezy.
I've been watching his documentary on Netflix, and it's a really inspirational. Like it's very inspirational. Like the first two episodes are really good. The first episode is just amazing, and you get to see a glimpse of his mom. The second episode is a lot of studio sessions of his first album, The College Dropout. So if you're into that, definitely recommend it. But there is a weird Kanye connection to both of these movies that we watched recently. So there's obviously the influence of the Stronger video clip, where he's kind of.
I thought I saw that as well.
Where he's kind of waking up, and there's all these tubes and stuff, and also, I think there's a reference even in Taylor Swift, who's had a beef with Kanye West, in her video.
Connection?
Yeah, Bad Blood, where she's kind of in this hyper chamber as well.
I see that, yeah.
But overall, there's a lot of influences and stuff that we've watched recently as well. Stranger Things, isn't it?
Yeah, Stranger Things was influenced by this. 11 is one of the new characters' names, and there's numbers on his experimental children.
The Matrix has obviously been influenced by Akira.
Yes.
And another one that's interesting in a movie that doesn't get talked about now, but it was talked about when it came out, and the movie is 10 years old now, is The Chronicle, the found footage superhero movie.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about that. I was like, that's kind of one of the negative things I dislike about Chronicle, is how it's like it's just an American 1-to-1, almost 1-to-1 ratio rip, almost.
Yeah.
But
there's an influence there, and that's kind of what I want to touch on with this movie, is the impact that it had on not just anime or manga, but the impact it's had on Western cinema and Western culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I just named like 3 different kind of, different mediums: TV, film, and music, and that's how deep the influence of Akira is.
I just want to point out that certain people I know who are big fans of it. I don't know these people personally, but Matt Trey and is it Trey? Is it Trey?
Trey Parker or something? Or?
Yeah, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They like the film, and there's a great episode.
Who are they? Who are they? Who are those people?
So those guys are the creators of South Park, for anyone who doesn't know, and what's good of the Book of Mormon fame. For anyone who likes musicals, they are the creators of that Broadway musical. They in one of the episodes of South Park, they reference it where I remember as a kid watching it and not getting the reference. It's where like I think some kind of like alien is inside of Eric Cartman, and he begins to transform into this giant fat blob. And he's basically at the end of Akira, the giant blob creature thing is Eric, because he's just and then he gets into an argument with was it like Barbara Streisand or something, and she turns into a giant, enormous blob, or maybe it was Rosie O'Donnell or something. But I didn't get the reference until when he starts absorbing things. That happens in Akira. I was like, oh my goodness! I was like, this is exactly this is where the reference comes from. It's like Holy Mountain. It's got references everywhere.
Again, like it's weird how we kind of connect to these movies and watch these movies, and the connection of relevancy and influence that has on society.
You can see that trail, that generational trail, where it's coming from, where they're getting the influences from. From a narrative standpoint, very, I think it's, by our standards, is a very basic, clean story, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes people have too much story and they're trying to over-explain everything.
But that's the beauty of it. When something's this acclaimed and it's this great, usually it's got a complicated story, but this is very linear in terms of its storytelling. Yeah,
keep it simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about a guy who gains these psychic powers and becomes a god.
Well, does he? That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a god?
No, I wouldn't say so, because he's very fallible.
I suppose.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Where was I going with that?
Hey. Hello.
No, I didn't want to make it like those those news things that go viral when kids come to. That's not what I wanted.
Well, you got it. Am I gonna become like a cat now? Like that video? I'm not a cat. Believe me. It's a thing on the computer. I'm a man. I'm a lawyer.
We got a guest star.
Hey!
It's not supposed to be in here.
I'm not a cat.
Would she technically count as our first guest star?
Yep. Our first guest star. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my niece, Genesis. That's all I'm giving away.
What did she think about Holy Mountain?
I wouldn't.
What did she think of it? I would love to get her thoughts on the Holy Mountain.
What did she think about Euphoria? What did you think about when the dad started pissing in the middle of the foyer?
Another major spoiler for Euphoria.
Okay, you need to take it away for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna be back. I'm just gonna do a quick thing. Hitesh, you take over the podcast for a little sec. I'll be back right back. So we're talking about Akira.
Influence, yeah. So talking about more about the influence. So I guess the influence of this is amazing, just in terms of what it's impacted, and just quickly in terms of music and pop culture, it also influenced Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson's video Scream, where I think they played they play a clip of the Akira movie on the screen where they're in the spaceship. And I think it's just when they're saying "Stop pressuring me, made me want to scream." So Michael Jackson, obviously a massive figure in pop culture, using another massive piece of cinema and history of cinema in one of his video films. Also, the motorbike in the movie is very iconic as well. If you see the motorbike and you just know that's off Akira. And there's also, I also kind of see the similarities in the kind of the vehicles and the sci-fi elements in Dragon Ball Z and other popular anime, especially with the kind of capsule corp vehicles. And I know Kendall briefly went over the soundtrack.
Yeah, it was. The soundtrack's really just like Holy Mountain. We're just going to be referencing those two together because
why not?
They've got so much they're like these huge kind of big pieces, and the music does play a big part in both of them. Like I said, the Shoji's music for Akira was very kind of
very moody,
very uncomfortable.
Electronic beats.
Yeah, it's got that neo kind of electronic beat kind of thing, like that kind of techno kind of you're speeding down a highway, and this is what you want to hear in that kind of neo techno world, sci-fi sound.
Very synthy and it's got like it's like cyberpunk, the kind of cyberpunk genre.
I thought, but there's certain elements where they kind of, when they're not using that type of music, they rely back onto like that kind of, because there's a very eerie sound when you go to when we're in the hospital scene where he's being experimented on. Also, again in when he says his powers start activating, and he has those weird memories, and they're like flashes, and it sounds like shoo, shoo, and I was like, it's very eerie and very unique for this film.
Yeah. So the sound design is just, we can talk about a lot of different things in this movie.
What about, did you mention the animation?
No, I didn't. No, I have not.
It's very it's actually quite it's so good for its time of when it came out. When was it? 1988?
Yeah.
And it's got you can see that kind of because I hate comparing it to like another but I couldn't help thinking about the fluidity of the animation in connection to Hayao Miyazaki stuff.
I just talked briefly about how the designs of like the vehicles and stuff kind of remind me of like the Dragon Ball Z designs of like the capsule corp.
I see that
vehicles and stuff. With it because they kind of came out at similar times, so it could have been they influenced each other. Could have been better.
But yeah, it's so the story, like I said, we've already tapped on the story, but I'm like, visually it's stunning, exactly like Holy Mountain, like because it's a very fast-paced film. It's a very fast-paced film, and you get taken in immediately. It's very action-based, which is not a bad thing because it's a visual medium. And when you want to see Carrie go, you want to see the story take off, and it keeps going. It's not very character-based. I mean, we've got a couple of, that's fine. Don't need to have strong characters for these kind of type of films. It's amazing that this film did that whole. There's a whole bunch of types of these films where the experimented child gains powers and gifts, and you see the world trying to deal with it or its relationship to the world and spewing out into madness. Very much like Chronicle, Stranger Things. What else is there?
I'm sure there's many others.
Oh, crud. I'm thinking of that. There was one in the back of my head. Maybe like something like Push that came out some time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Push was
yeah. With Chris Evans.
But maybe a little bit like Ex Machina. You know, they kind of like that experimental lab kind of thing. Or Megan, I think Megan was one of them. Yeah, they experimented on a child. It had all like there's really good actors in it, and maybe it's not that great. It's kind of flanders, but they're trying to do like they're trying to do like an Ex Machina kind of thing.
It's also like a Frankenstein situation.
Yeah, genetic. We experiment on these children, and we cannot control the nature of it. So Akira is actually like a well-known, high-praised, critically acclaimed mangaka, Japanese mangaka, and so I haven't read. You and I are huge into graphic novels and stuff like that. We're not huge into manga. I don't believe so. But
I'm not even massive into anime, but I just recently watched like Cowboy Bebop, the anime. And there's a few other things that I've been watching, but I'm not I wouldn't say I'm in the world.
Yeah, me neither. I slowly just getting back to anime, so we barely have enough time to dive into comic books. But from what I've heard is that this film squeezes together a number of volumes. And it's not actually like these volumes are long, huge, and thick stories, and they've basically compressed it down into a 2-hour film, which is quite. And so that may explain its speedy story delivery kind of thing going on. You gotta like take these huge, thick volumes, and then just you squeeze it tight into this one film. That's probably where that's coming from, and why everything's so fast paced. What else am I missing? I thought the animation was really good. I found it funny. It would be kind of like but then again, that's the point of having very, very cartoonish style. The style in terms of like when they I kind of giggled a little bit to myself when they kind of like they overreacted. Like he's escaping, and then you look at one of their faces looking at the monitor and like
That's the genre itself, though. Whereas
that is the genre. It's very expressive. That's the point of having more cartoonish art style. You get to the expression comes out in these kind of two-dimensional designs.
Because they were planning to adapt this into live action.
Yes.
Directed by the one and only Taika Waititi.
Which leads us back to what we do in the shadows, which leads us back to Ghost Cup. And Ghost Cup floats in midair, kind of like the things that float in Akira. It's all coming together now.
What we do in the shadows is just a prequel to the Akira movie.
So yeah, that's big news.
You heard it. Yeah.
Taika's directing an Akira adaptation. I was watching the film and I was like, this movie is really good. It's so good. It doesn't need to be adapted for live action.
especially historically, there haven't been any or a lot of good live action adaptations of anime. Or
are we referring back to Cowboy Bebop that you dropped a couple of minutes ago? So we're linking it all back together. It's a nice little tight bow on top.
Also, if you haven't seen that episode, we talked about it earlier.
It's all these great. Here's the thing, though. It's all these great animes like Cowboy Bebop, Akira, that they're so good. They're so good, and they are made for that genre. I mean, for that type of film or TV series, because it's made for animation. Just to adapt it into live action is not necessary. However, there is an economical side behind it, and there's a financial there's a financial commercialism behind it. The fact that the studios want to make more money, you sell the rights out to these studios to to ultimately produce them. And if you don't produce them, it goes back to them. So what they're gonna do, you're gonna sell it to some director, or sell it to pitch it to a director too. And the directors, the creatives and the directors, almost all the time, they're like, "Oh, they're going to make it anyway, and they're going to destroy it. So we might as well. I might as well do it." And meanwhile, the audiences, because the executives know that audiences are accustomed to things that they've seen before, and they know we will go and watch it because it's already in the consciousness, and we're like, it's a good way of making money.
But the thing is, when you've got a masterpiece like Akira, we've already got the movie.
Yeah, we've already got the movie.
It's also the kind of gripe I have with like video game movies, especially like movies based on modern video games. Like we just got the Uncharted movie, which is already like the video game itself plays like a movie. We're getting the Last of Us TV series. The Last of Us video game again plays like a movie. So why would I want to watch? Yeah. And it looks like it's kind of like it just seems like it's the same kind of story. But I've already seen it and all played this story before. Why do I need to watch it now?
That's true. Well, I understand certain video games.
Yeah, like saying like Sonic makes sense.
Yeah,
something
but certain games that are already cinematic in themselves, almost like masterfully directed, don't need adaptation.
No. And that's my thoughts about the Akira live action. Like, man, I've got it. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think we've discussed it before with my my gripe with DC's insistence to create these kind of animated features based off of books.
Yeah,
like they're almost one-to-one from the book, and I'm like, I don't need to see the book put into animation.
Maybe the audience isn't us. Maybe the audience isn't the fans that enjoyed it originally. Maybe they're trying to reach out to a new branch of fans.
It's true.
Who haven't read or played or seen the previous iteration.
So I suppose perhaps this what you're saying is that this Taika adaptation will lead to a resurgence of Akira, and maybe revive a new manga series based off of it, or like, love it or hate it, it's gonna happen, and all we can do is hope that it has a positive effect.
Yeah. So on that note, any final thoughts about Akira?
Oh, such a good film. Really good quality film.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like Holy Mountain. I need to watch it again because there's so much detail, so much going on. I could just like it's one of those films where the visuals are so stunning, and there's so much going on that you want to just take a breath. And I watched it, like I said, on my laptop, and I want to see it in a theater because I want to be encapsulated in that world. That world is so rich. I want to be encapsulated in it.
Interesting you say. I saw something before. So it was released in New Zealand for the first time in 2017 in the cinemas. So it might have been played at kind of like, you know, an events or something. For like
yeah. I know for like anniversaries, they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But it's not very publicized. It's not marketed.
Yeah, that's the problem with the
you kind of have to go on the website, or you have to kind of actually go into the actual theater and see. Oh, look,
or like mailing lists or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what about you? Any final thoughts on?
I really
Akira?
enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was fun, thought-provoking. I could see the influence it had on pop culture again, like Holy Mountain. Loved it. I'm not going to rate it. I think it's fun. It's cool.
Awesome. Well, there's something. So this is the later portion of the podcast. There's something we wanted to touch on, and that was last week during the Super Bowl. I believe they dropped the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness trailer.
And there's just so much.
I thought the trailer was. I was watching the trailer and I was like, I already saw these kind of bits coming. We got Wanda, we got America Chavez, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
And these are like cool things that I like. Very decent. We got Sinister Strange from the what's it called Marvel What Ifs.
Yeah. So we got.
I was like, oh, this is interesting. Where's this going? So we're watching it. I'm watching it from work, and there's some kind of like temple building kind of structure. It's kind of like foyer with it's like very strange art pieces on the side, and then we got these droids that look like Ultron droids.
Ultrons, yeah.
Ultron, and they're taking imprisoned, arrested Doctor Strange up these flight of stairs. We walk into a certain council room, and then we see these dais chairs up above him. And the first thing that came to my mind is like, oh, this is lame. I don't want to see a council of Doctor Stranges. I want to see a council of Reeds. I immediately, my brain went to Council of Reeds, but then I was like, why did they give it to Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
I prefer Council of Reeds. And then it happened.
No. Then you hear a voice.
Yes, that's what I mean. Then it happened. I heard a voice. It was the sound of a familiar voice that we've all heard before. The voice of Sir Patrick Stewart.
The king, the goat.
What's the word? Recounting, retaking his role as
reprising his role
of Professor Charles Xavier. Reprising his role of Professor Charles Xavier, and I lost. Like, I was in my office. I was just like, it was. So I was like, first of all, it was like, what in the world is going on? That's Professor X. And then my brain told me, oh, this isn't the Council of Reeds. This is the Illuminati. And the Illuminati connects us to Kanye West, because Kanye West is a member of the Illuminati, and Kanye West also
is it Doctor Strange
influenced by Akira. You see it all; it's all coming together. You can see the dots. Everything is connecting together. Yeezys. I bet you Kanye West is going to show up in the Illuminati 24.
Yep.
Just like start twitching. It was like kid calendar. Yeah. How did you process that?
There's so much going on, and there's so much like unpack, and you're like, well, that means this is going to happen. But I think my theory is that it's going to be connected to the the Patrick Stewart that we hear isn't Professor X that we've had in the Fox movies that I think that it's Professor X from the 90s X-Men cartoon. I've heard rumors that he's going to be in that same kind of chair that he was in the 90s cartoon, and it's going to be that version of Professor X. So it's not going to be the Professor X that we know that's been, that we've had in a lot of other movies. It's going to be the Professor X from that cartoon, I think, because they're redoing that cartoon on Disney Plus. So that's my theory. And if the What If universe is connected to the MCU, then anything's fair game.
Can I ask you?
No, you can't.
Oh, too bad. Because it's some form of the Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
What are your hopes of seeing a Reed Richards?
I think we're going to see Reed. I think we're going to see Iron.
What was that?
I think we're going to see Iron. Is that his name? Iron Gill. The guy that played the original Reed.
Oh,
in the movies.
You mean something? Is it Ian something?
That guy. I think we're going to see him.
Oh, that would be so cool.
There's rumors that it's going to be John Krasinski as Reed Richards, but I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be Iron. I think if John Krasinski is in the movie, he's going to be another version of Captain America, because he was supposed to be Captain America. He auditioned for Captain America. Chris Evans got it. Then there's a rumor that Tom Cruise is in the movie and he's playing Superior Iron Man, and maybe in that universe, and he was also supposed to be Iron Man in the Iron Man movies.
Yes.
Got it. So my theory is that the Superior Iron Man and John Krasinski's Captain America are in the same universe, and then I think they're going to.
And then we got the '90s X-Men, Sir Patrick Stewart, and we got Iron's Reed Richards.
We got Peggy Carter, Captain Britain. She's going to be in the Illuminati. Okay. And then I think we're gonna get Killmonger.
For Black Panther.
Yeah. So instead of obviously the death of Chadwick Boseman, I reckon he would have been in the Illuminati, but we're gonna get Killmonger instead.
Okay, let me ask you this: where do you see the possibility of getting a Namor and Black Bolt?
There is rumors that Black Bolt's going to be in it as well. Black Bolt is the guy that played it in the Inhumans TV series.
Because he's played by he's up and coming actor. He's a really great actor. Anson, yeah. And he was the show's not that great. I liked watching it, but it's not worth your time. However, I was like, they already did it. ABC already made the show. How do we reference it without actually involving the show? It's another universe. These are an Illuminati from different universes. Yeah. They're all variants. So therefore he can come in without actually having to bring in the messiness of
also Marvel's really recently Marvel's really good at retconning they're really bad or not as good movies, like we saw in WandaVision where they kind of retconned Age of Ultron.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. They retconned that, and in Endgame they retconned Thor: The Dark World. It made me want to rewatch The Dark World again, and they're really good at that now. Where they've done that.
Loki did that as well.
Yeah, Loki did that. When you've gone back now to watch these movies these movies pretty much. So I think that's what they're doing with Black Bolt.
Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Black Bolt and Namor.
Yeah, I think we're going to get Namor in this universe before, because we've had no other version of Namor in the movies or in the TV show. So I think they're going to announce the Namor first before they put him in another property. There's also rumors that Deadpool's going to be in this, and maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is part of the Illuminati now as well.
Really? Because the whole point of the Illuminati was like it's the main big players who control a lot of the powerhouses.
Yeah, but because we don't know.
MCU.
Yeah, but because we know Tobey Maguire and that version of Spider-Man, maybe they're like, we'll just put him in.
Well, I'm not against it because like I can see everyone getting a cameo in this, like the different universes and stuff. So I'm not. Yeah, I've been surprised before from these Marvel films of what they're able to do.
Yeah,
and just hearing Sir Patrick Stewart's voice should be an indicator to everyone watching it that like expect the unexpected. What you think is going to happen, we're going to flip the table, the house, your bed, everything over, and you next thing you know you're in the dark dimension.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
I'm super excited.
Stuff, I'm excited.
Oh, I'm a huge Reed Richards fan. I'm a huge and you know, just seeing that kind of the universe is clicking together, like the books. I'm a traditionalist, and I like seeing the books being referenced.
Especially like 10 years ago, when we were hanging out, right? When we started hanging out, we talk about these comic book movies. We didn't think we'd ever see like, you know, Sir Patrick Stewart and like the MCU. We knew that wasn't a possibility. We're like, no, that would never happen. We knew that. There was also talks that like the X-Men would never be in the MCU. We knew that the Fantastic Four would never be in the MCU. We knew there was a time when we knew that Spider-Man was going to be in the MCU. We're getting all these things now.
Yeah.
So
it's been it's been a long time coming for fans like us. Just to see it like what we've been absorbing for so long,
and what we want.
We are really quite spoiled, you know. It's like it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time to be a comic book fan.
Cool. So I think it's a good note to end on.
Yep.
We'll catch you in the dark dimension next week or whenever when we review something.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited.
In the metaverse.
In the multiverse. Metaverse. Oh, you mean you're talking about that Illuminati metaverse. Speaking of Holy Mountain.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, listening. Subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't. Follow us on Instagram.
Yep. Follow us on Instagram.
Appreciate all the love that we get. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.